guys, I have a new book for you, and it's called The One and Only, and it's a Toot and Puddle book. Do you know the Toot and Puddle books? They're pretty fun. And these are written by Holly Hobby. That's her name. What a good name. So I guess we can already tell a lot about the book because there's a pig doing a ballet dance and she's on point. You call that on point when they're on their toes. And this is a picture on the back of Toot and Puddle right there. And it's about her going to school and stuff that happens at school. Look at the great color they picked for the inside. It's pig colored. Yay! Love that. Okay. Oh, look. Toot and Puddle love reading as much as we do. Look at that little pig reading that book. Loves reading that book. Hi, little Toot and little Puddle. So we get to go through a whole year of a new girl in school in this book. So here they are. There's the teacher. There's all the little kids. There was a brand new pupil in Opal's class when school started in September. "My name is Jane," she said, "but I want everybody to call me Bubbles." You want to say that with me? "My name is Jane, but I want everyone to call me Bubbles." I think I'd like to be called Bubbles. And they've got great detail in these pictures. Look at, there's this cute turtle kind of watching. He's standing up on his hind legs, watching what's going on in class. Lucky turtle. Okay, for some reason, the new pupil latched upon Opal. She shadowed Opal around the playground during recess. She squeezed in next to Opal at lunchtime. Bubbles seemed to like Opal so much that by the end of the week, she was even beginning to dress like her. "Gee whiz," Daphne said. "She's wearing almost exactly what you're wearing." "I guess Bubbles likes my outfit," said Opal. Didn't bother her at all. So, Opal told Toot and Puddle all about the new pupil the next time she visited Woodcock Pocket. I'd like to visit there. "She's drawn to you," Puddle said reassuringly, "because you're so pretty and smart and friendly." That's a nice way to put it. Look, he's painting them. The week before Halloween, everybody worked on their costumes during art period. Opal decided to be a monster. "I love to be scary," she said. But Opal was not the only monster at the Halloween party. "I love to be scary too," said Bubbles, growling in her disguise. "What a wonderful costume you've created, Bubbles," said their teacher, Mrs. Hayes. "You're doing so well in our class." There they are. The teacher saying, "You're doing so well, Bubbles." Daphne was annoyed. "Bubbles copied your costume, Opal. How can you stand it?" The weekend at Woodstock Pocket, Puddle explained, "It's just because Bubbles is new at school and not sure about what to do. Once she feels more at home, she will do things in her own way." "She must think you're good at everything," Toot said. "But what about Mrs. Hayes?" Opal asked. "Didn't she see that Bubbles copied?" "I'm sure Mrs. Hayes just wants to encourage her new student," Puddle said. "Teachers have to do that." So the teacher encouraged, look at, they're making cookies. Yum. So teachers have to encourage new students. So she was saying nice things to the student. Then Thanksgiving comes. For Thanksgiving, Opal wanted to make Mrs. Hayes a special card. She drew a tall, handsome pilgrim riding a very colorful turkey. When she gave her teacher the card, Mrs. Hayes said, "Oh, thank you, Opal. What a coincidence. Bubbles gave me a card too, and you both had the same idea." "Really?" said Opal. "That's incredible." "What's incredible, dear?" "Oh, nothing, Mrs. Hayes." Opal didn't want to be a tattletale. I forgot to use Mrs. Hayes's voice. I'll try to do it next time. As the days grew wintry, the air tingled with excitement. Everybody in class made paper snowflakes for their holiday projects. Most of the snowflakes were quite different, but Bubbles' snowflake was a lot like Opal's. Mrs. Hayes gave them both gold stars. Daphne said she'd never known someone who was a copycat and teacher's pet at the same time. "That stinks." "Bubbles can't help it if Mrs. Hayes likes her," Opal said. She thought that was probably what Puddle would say. She's trying to be a good sport about it. When Opal told the snowflake story on her next visit to Woodcock Pocket, however, Toot was flabbergasted. "The one who copied got a gold star, too? Holy moly!" "Never mind," said Puddle calmly. "We all know who made the most beautiful snowflake." Puddle's a good influence, isn't she? All winter, Bubbles had been wearing a distinctive red hat. Everyone knew it was a prized gift from her aunt. Daphne spotted the exact hat in a holiday catalog. "Let's give Bubbles a taste of her own medicine," she said to Opal, and she ordered 2. "Oh, I love our new hats," cried Daphne. But guess what happened next? Everybody's wearing the red hat. Oh my gosh! "Oh my!" said Mrs. Hayes. "It looks like you've started your old-fashioned fad, Bubbles." "I know," Bubbles said. "Isn't it exciting?" So it backfired. Then came Valentine's Day. Opal drew Cupid as a little piglet and called him Cupid. Not Cupid, Cupid, like pig, Q-pig. Bubbles thought that was a wonderful idea. "But the picture should be bigger," said Bubbles. So Bubbles made this giant poster, and everybody's loving it and thinking it's amazing. Everyone was most impressed by Bubbles' giant Cupid. "You are so clever," said Mrs. Hayes, smiling. And Bubbles received the biggest pile of Valentines cards in the class. This is getting outrageous. Okay. Daphne couldn't believe it. "I've never known anyone who was a copycat and the teacher's pet and the most popular in class. That's impossible." "I think it's possible," Opal said, rolling her eyes. "Everything seems to go her way." Well, maybe not everything. For the big theatrical extravaganza in May, the girl students at Mrs. Hayes's class decided to be in a chorus line. Everyone did quite well at practice, except Bubbles. She was always out of step. No matter how hard she tried, she could not get the rhythm right. Everyone else did, but Bubbles couldn't. So Opal took her aside. "Watch me, Bubbles, and do exactly what I do. It's not that hard, really. Hop, step, and kick. hop, step, and kick. Bubbles did exactly as Opal did. Hop, step, and kick, she cried, and sure enough, she was soon dancing. That's it, Opal cheered. You're getting it. There she is. I'm getting it! Bubbles squealed. Look at her jumping up in the air. Bubbles is getting it, Mrs. Hayes announced to everyone. Thank you, Opal. How marvelous. So she acknowledged Opal. Opal's really being nice. And Daphne said, why do you want to help Miss Copycat? And Opal replied, because I want our chorus line to be perfect. And there they are, look, all perfect in the chorus line. And indeed, chorus line was a sparkling climax of the night's entertainment. And the brightest star of the evening was the one and only Opal. Bravo, called Puddle. Hooray, tooted Toot. And there they are, taking their stage bows. And there's the teacher getting the flowers. I think they will be friends forever, don't you? Sometimes I like to just think, I like to put my own ending on books. And I think they'll be friends forever. And maybe they'll copy each other, maybe they won't. But the good thing is, Opal knows it's a compliment. The one and only Toots and Puddle. Thanks for being here with me. Pretty good book. I'll see you next time.